Welcome back. Sorry, I shouldn't have started with that. Welcome back. This is going to be the third part of the Winnie the Pooh series, provided YouTube doesn't make me break it down into smaller segments. But my plan is for the third part to be the legs. We have finished prior to this the ears and the muzzle and both arms. The legs, leg 1 and 2 are different after a certain point. So my plan is to crochet the first leg all the way through, go off camera, crochet the second leg up to the point that it changes from the first leg, if that makes any sense, and then come back and show you how to crochet that second part. So I'm going to switch the camera where you can see my fingers work and get started on that and see how far we can get today, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, as my granddaddy used to say. Tomorrow we can start the body. I'll do my best anyway. I feel like I'm tilting. Hey guys, welcome back to At Home with Shara. This is part, I believe, 4 of the Crochet With Me for the Pooh from the Leisure Arts Little Buddy series. All the usual disclaimers in case this is the first video you're coming in. This is not my pattern. I can't give you the pattern. All I'm sharing is how I'm interpreting it. Second disclaimer, I'm not perfect. If you see a mistake, I'm sorry. Not a professional in any way. Not a professional filmographer. Would that be the term? I'm not a professional crocheter. So, we have finished in the first set of videos, the ears and the muzzle. Then we finished the arms, and then we have finished the legs. We are to the point now where we're working on the body. Now they caution us or remind us that the pieces we've already made will be worked into the body as we go along at various points. And this body has, let me see, about 88 rounds. So there's a good chance I am going to have to split this into 2. For those of you that have requested this, that wanted me to show everything, it is making for longer videos. For those of you that would rather me fast forward, I'm sorry. This was actually a specific request from someone. So I'm working through them slowly. Please don't hesitate to fast forward as you need to, pause, start over, whatever. I feel like there was something else I was supposed to tell you. Don't know what it is. But anyway, there are 3 more videos prior to this one to get us to this point. So if this is your starting spot, you might want to go back to those. Oh, supposedly this pattern is floating around on the internet for free. I don't know, but I'm having a lot of people message me and tell me that. So if that is the case, you should be able to find it with no problem. I'm going to switch the camera around. Yes, I am a hand talker. I try to remind myself to keep them still. I'm going to switch the camera around so that you can see my lap and see the crocheting, and we will get started. I don't know that I'll be able to finish this today. I do have some afternoon obligations. But such is life, guys. All right, see you in a second. Okay, so we're going to start with the first leg, and the actual first part of the foot is worked in rows. So if you're following along with your pattern, we're going to have 5 rows. And it's very straightforward. They're all single crochets and chains. So let's get started on that. I feel like I should apologize to some of you for the length of these videos, but I've had requests that I kind of work through it all as I go along. And one of the things that I ran into with the last, let me start over meandering and not counting, last videos where people wanted to see parts that I didn't do on camera. And of course I was well past those by the time the videos were posted. So please, you know, if it gets to be too long, fast forward through it. I do know that at least for me, when I'm watching these on my television, it is much harder for me to stop and start, and it's easier for me to let it play. So I guess it really depends on your preference, and it's kind of hard to pander to everybody's preference. So this is what we're going to go with for now. So we're going to start out with our chain. Sorry guys, I've got to adjust this camera slightly. I can't see what I'm doing. Let's try this. Okay, and we're going to single crochet in the back ridge. Now when you look at your chain like this, the back ridge is actually, when you flip it over, do you see how it makes these little, I call them bars? That is what we're going to actually single crochet in, is these bars here that show up. Here's the side view, the front, and then the back has, well, almost reminds me of back stitching through there. So I'm going to single crochet, skip the first one, and single crochet in each one across. Gotta get my yarn. The worst thing about stopping and starting videos is getting yourself back in the same position you were in, but such is life. We got up to 39 degrees this morning, which to my southern bones is cold. I know a lot of places a lot colder, but whew. Actually turned on the heat today. I believe it is November, I'm thinking the 4th. Sounds about right. And we actually finally broke down and turned on our heat. Prior to that, I had just been like turning on the fireplace a little bit one morning. Okay, now it's recommending you mark the right side. I actually kind of know which is mine, but if you want to do that, by all means, go ahead. Also, for general information, a lot of patterns say to turn and then chain one. I was always taught to chain one first, and that is just a personal preference. So I chain one and then turn. Okay, we are single crocheting around, or down this side, and then we're actually going to go back down the other side because we are making kind of the bottom of the foot at this point. Okay, so those are my single crochets that the pattern tells me to do. Just kind of follow along with that. Now to curve this toe in the very last single crochet, we're going to do 3 single crochets. And this is kind of going to curve it so that we can come down this side and work as well. And let's see. Oops. We're kind of skipping this first spot here because we're going to want to do the same number of single crochets down this side. And you'll see, because we went in the back, we actually have what we're used to seeing on this side to line them up. So here we go. That one was a little loose. I like to pull that one just a little bit tighter. Can't get my hook in this morning. My fingers must be cold. I'm undecided about this yarn that I'm using, if it's exactly the right color or not, but it was what I could find, and it's very soft, so I think he'll be well loved regardless. Okay, so we are at the end of row 2. I am going to chain my 1 before I turn. If your pattern probably says to chain it after you turn, so, you know, do what makes you happy. Life's too short to worry about it. Okay, on the next row, we are going to work down our sides, increasing in the toe and back down the other side. So I'm going to let my fingers do that. You follow along in your pattern and do the same thing. Okay, I'm down to the end where we're going to be rounding this toe, and what we're doing is these 3 stitches we're going to increase on, actually in each one of them, but here and here proportionately, and then this will be a little bit fuller to make the toe kind of curve. So there's 2 single crochets in this stitch, 3 single crochets in this one, which lets it round that curve, and then 2 single crochets in this one, so it's proportional. And then we're going to just go right back down this side. Nine and 10, and that was the end of row 3. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Now on row 4, we are doing the same thing. Our toe is going to change slightly, but basically the same principle. We're working around, increasing on the toe to keep the round shape. Okay, so it says 2 single crochets in each of the next 2, which, see, creates your curve, then 1 single crochet in the very end one, and then we repeat it on this side with the increases to keep our rounded toe. Once again, I am going to chain, and that is the end of row 4. After row 5, which we're doing now, we're going to start working in rounds. I will be using a little clicker. Apologize for the noise, but because these numbers are no markers, no etc., this just was going to work easier for the foot and leg, I believe, based on what I've read of the pattern. Okay, so row 5, once again we're working our way down to the toe and proportionately increasing to keep the smoothness of it. Should be proportionally or symmetrically, or perhaps both. I'll go with the word evenly. Does that sound better? Okay, so our increases are 2 in the first 2. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 3 to keep the toe shape. And don't worry, I will lay this like flatter so you can see the shape in just a moment. And then 2 single crochets in the next 2. And then back down our opposite side here. Okay, now at the end of this one we will chain 1, but first I just want to show you the shape we've made. This is the toe, this is going to be the heel, and it kind of reminds me of a giant U if you turned it this way, but an upside down U, I suppose is what I'd call it. So really we started out with our chain and we've worked around it and turned and worked back kind of thing. So this is now, we're going to begin working in rounds, which means we're going to pull this together to a foot and then go on up the leg eventually. So chain 1 and turn. And this is going to be round 1 on your pattern. We actually are going to pretty much repeat the same thing we've been doing until we get back to the opposite corner here. So I'm going to go down my side, around my toe, and down the other side. Okay, and now I'm to the point where I'm shaping the toe, which is 2 single crochets in each of the next 2. Then I'm working across the end here evenly. Until I get to the next corner here. And then I repeat my increases, which would be 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. Oops. Okay, so this is the end, but at this point, remember, we're actually working in rounds. So we've got to come across this end here, that's our straight end, and come back around to our starting corner. So our directions tell us to not go in the stitch we've just made, but to come across the end, and we are doing decreases. We're actually going to have basically we're going to decrease twice, skip the middle row here, and decrease twice. So we're going to have 4 stitches total across this end, working in your ends here and skipping this section. So what I'm going to do is go in, pull up a loop, go in and pull up a loop. Whoops. and work those off. That's one decrease. Now do my second decrease, so that's 2 stitches. Skip this part and do, that's my third decrease, and then here is my fourth decrease. So that it's kind of pulling this, you'll see it's starting to pull it into a heel shape. And then we are to join it with the slip stitch to our first single crochet, which is right here on the corner. Now, this is the point where I'm going to start counting my rounds, but I'm also going to stop because my pattern tells me that I need 43 single crochets, and I'm actually going to count to make sure. Okay, so we have 43 single crochets. Now, rounds 2 through 5, we're actually working even. However, on round 2, because we've just done an initial join, we're actually going to chain 1. After round 2, for rounds 3, 4, and 5, we will not be joining. So if you want to put a marker at the end of round 2, by all means, go for it. I'm actually going to count stitches because that's just a personal preference. But I am also going to keep up with a row count so that hopefully I don't misspeak and tell you I'm on the wrong, a round count if I'm correct. Make sure I don't misspeak and tell you the wrong row. So I chained 1 and I'm just simply single crocheting around for round 2. Need some more yarn pulled out here. Okay, so this is at the end of round 1. Remember that we are not, round 2, see? End of round 2, we are not actually joining with a slip stitch at this point. We're going to go right back into this stitch and kind of pull it together with the next single crochet. But I did want to show you that the heel kind of looks like this. And you can see we're starting to go up the back of the heel now. So that was round 2, not 1, round 2. And we have to do 3, 4, and 5. So we have to do 3 more rounds. And I am going to kind of pull this stitch a little tight just to make sure that it's secure. I'm on stitch 20. Just in case you're new to crocheting, I just want to give you a little tip for when you're designing your own things. The increases in the previous rows kept this curving, but as we go up and are shaping it, when we work it even, it starts to draw it in and give it that foot shape. Now I said what, I was on 20, I believe. We'll see. And yes, I'm back to the right spot. So I was on 20. So that is round 3. 2 more to go, guys. Round 4. Okay, that is round 5. Now on rounds 6 through 9, which we're getting ready to start, you can see how our foot's already starting to cup up into like almost like a boat. On this next handful of rounds, let me see, I think there are probably about 4 of them. We're going to be shaping this toe drastically so that it comes on over the top of his toes. One of the, well, 2 of the decreases that they said we needed to know how to do was the front loop 2 single crochet decrease and the front loop 3 single crochet decrease. These are extremely easy. I will be showing you very quickly, and we will go through those pretty easily. And rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9 don't take super long because you're decreasing each time, but I'm going to slow them down at least to show you what they're doing. Okay, so we're going to start out by single crocheting around to the toe. You follow along in your pattern for numbers. Okay, when we get down to where it says to begin our decreases, we're going to work a front loop 2 single crochet decrease. Now you see our chain, when it is I've got it facing up, but when I'm facing this way, here's the front loop. So there are 2 loops here. Very intuitive. The back is literally toward the back. The front is literally towards you. So, just like the regular single crochet decreases, we're going to end up with 3 loops that we work off at one time. But we're only going to go, instead of all the way through, we're only going to go through the front loops. Like I said, very intuitive. So there's 1, go into the next stitch, 2. We have 3 loops and we pull them off. It's just that simple. And then we're going to do that 6 times, so you'll get to see it plenty. That's 1 in this, and the next one, front loop only. That's 2 decreases. Front loop only, 3 loops on. That's 3 decreases. Front loop only. Front loop only. Pull it through, 4 decreases. And how many did I say? 6. So we'll keep going. 5 and 6. Now look, if you crochet loosely, you're going to want to pull those a little tight so they won't gap. I'm pretty much used to a consistent tension and adjust it, but go for whatever it takes for you to get it where you're not going to have any major gaps there. Now we're just going to finish working out this round. Okay, and that is the end of round 6 for me, and I want to flip it and show you what that has done. We've gone from a boat shape to the start of a curved toe here. And each round from here through round 9, we're going to continue to further define that curve over the toe. Okay, so round 7, we're actually going to do the same thing with adjusted stitch numbers. So let's get started on it. Going to single crochet around to the toe. Okay, and we're going to work our front loop 2 single crochet decreases 5 times, guys. So the same thing we did before, but only 5 times. One, two. This round I do make sure that I kind of pull them a little tighter because I'm working in the previous ones. That was 3. Whoops. 4. And 5. And you can see it's really starting to pull it too there. And we're going to finish out this round single crocheting in both loops like regular. Okay, that is the end of round 7. Okay, round 8, we're doing the same thing, except we are going to have a front loop 3 single crochet decrease on that toe. When I get there, I'll show you that. So we'll start out by single crocheting just like regular around to the beginning of the toe. Okay, now I am to that point. We are going to do a front loop 2 single decrease twice. So front loop 2, so we end up with 3 loops, pull it through, 3 loops, and we wrap it and pull it through. So that's our 2 front loop 2 decreases. Now the 3, you guessed it, you're going to go through 1 on the front loop, 2 on the front loop, 3 on the front loop. You'll have 4 loops. You're going to wrap your hook and just pull it all the way through. That's it. It's not rocket science. And then we're going to work 2 more 2 single crochet decreases. I kind of scrunch the toe up as I'm crocheting, try to let me keep my stitches tight. Okay, and we'll finish out this round just like regular with single crochets in both loops. And this is the end of round 8. Okay guys, it looks like my camera battery is getting ready to die on me, so I'm going to pause here and I will be back in a moment. Sorry about that guys, I plugged it in last night, but apparently I didn't connect it well or something. Anyway, back to where we were, which I believe is round 9 of the foot. We are single crocheting around to the toe, working through both loops. Whoops. And then we're working a front loop 2 double, whatever you want to call it, decrease, one of those, one of the 3 front loop decreases, so 2, 3, 4 loops in one, wrap it, pull it through, and then one more, there we go, of the doubles, and then we finish off our round. I will be stopping at the end of this to make sure that I have the correct number of stitches, because something felt wrong there. Something felt like it didn't line up right, but let me see. You never know. Could just be where I picked it up and put it down. So we should have 23 single crochets. And I am, let me double count. I am one short, so I'm going to pull those out and do that row again. I think where I messed up was on this. I went one too far. Now let me see if this is correct. Whoops, this is supposed to be my 3 one. Now my 2 one, decrease that is. Then that looks like it's laying right. Yeah, let's count these again. This is a good spot to make sure we're on the right track. $21 and then $22, $23. Okay, so that is round 9. Now round 10, we're actually starting the leg. Our foot, to me, is more than big enough that I don't have to stuff it now and work up the leg, because our leg opening is pretty large. And So on this one, we are increasing back at the tip of the toe, and we should have 27 single crochets when we finish. Whoops, sorry, I just banged the camera there. And then 2 in the last one. And that was the end of round 10. Oh, I dropped my hook. And of course, it rolled under the chair. Sorry about that, guys. And I pulled out a stitch in the process, so let me back that up and get that fixed. Okay. Clumsy today, guys. Okay, so that is my 27 stitches on round 10. Now, 11 through 18, we're just single crocheting around for the 27 stitches. I'm just going to use my row counter and work through this pretty quickly. Okay guys, that was round 11. Tell you what, to keep this from getting too long, I am going to pause the camera and I'm going to work even until round 18, which means I have 7 more to go. But all we're doing is crocheting in the rounds for the 27 stitches. I'll be back in a minute. Gotta love the magic of start and stop. I am at round 18. Round 19 has a decrease, and then single crochet, the count it says. And then there's 2 in 1, and finish out the round. Whoops. Okay, so this is round 19, 20 now, and by the way, 20 is where you'll go the same for both legs, and then they change from 21 to 26. This one has a decrease in the middle. Then we finish it out with the last of the stitches it calls for on your pattern. Okay, one more stitch. That is round 20. Now 21 is going to involve some slip stitching, and I want to double check and make sure I've still got the correct number of stitches. I do. Should have, since I've only been working in the round, but still I wanted that what I call warm fuzzy. So in round 21 we're going to single crochet in 16. Whoops. They just let the cat here with me. He was yowling at the door. Okay, and then slip stitch in 11. 1, 2, remember slip stitch is just go through and pull it right on through. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've got 11 slip stitches. Now on round 22 we're simply going to single crochet around, so that means we'll have 27 single crochets. Okay, now don't forget when you are single crocheting in your slip stitches, you kind of have to look at the side of your work instead of the top. And there's 1. So you're kind of going up along the side of it like that. 2. And I do find these a little bit more awkward, but 3, it helps shape the leg, so 4, 5, 6, whoops, didn't mean to bump the camera, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that is the end of round 22. Now round 23 we're going to single crochet in 17 and slip stitch in 10. Okay, and that is the end of round 23. Round 24, we're going to work even. So that'll be 27 single crochets. Twenty-one, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, and that is the end of round 24. Round 25, 18 single crochets and slip stitch in 9. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Okay. Slip stitch in 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Round 25. Now round 26 is our last one. Let's see. Oh, I don't have a marker thread. Hold on just a minute, guys. Okay, back with a marker. Sorry about that. Let's see. So we're starting round 26. Tells me to single crochet. Am I holding this under the thing? There we go. Place a marker. I like yarn markers, but whatever makes you happy. Now, and then just single crochet the rest of the way around and finish off with a slip stitch. So that was whoops. 16, 17, 18, going to 27. And that one is tough slip stitch to get it in. There we go. 18. Man, I did those slip stitches tight. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. My cat is snoring. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not. 25, 26, and 27. Join with the slip stitch. Go ahead and leave a long enough tail for, even though I know we're going to be picking up, I like to leave a longer tail just in case I need to capture anything, collect anything. It's just always better to me to waste a little bit up front and be prepared should I have any issues. Now this is leg 1. Make sure you mark it as such or indicate in your notes what color marker you used or something, because the leg shape does affect the placement of them. Now, thanks to the magic of the stop and start of the camera, I have, let me get this out of the way, leg 2 ready through round 20. Here it is. You see, it literally is made the exact same as the first one, and round 21 is where things change. So we're starting leg 2 with round 21. So we're going to start out with some single crochets. Let me move my row counter back to 20. Basically what we're doing is we're going to shape the legs slightly different on this one. Okay, so that the slip stitches are basically in a different position. Lay that out of the way. I'm doing the slip stitches now. 8, 9, 10, 11, and then there's going to be 11 single crochets. Okay, that was the end of round 21. Round 22, we work even. Remembering to kind of go down to catch the slip stitches, rather, sorry. Okay, that is the end of round 22. 23 is going to again be a mix of single crochets and slip stitches. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so that is the end of round 23. No, is that right? Yeah, sorry. I was like, wait, I'm off. Yeah, that's right. Now 24 is a work even, so we'll have 27 single crochets. Okay. That's round 24. Round 25 is once again a mix of single crochets and slip stitches. What we're basically doing here, in case you can't tell, is kind of giving him a little bit of a chunky thigh where it'll join together more shaped. And I can personally relate to the chunky thigh, so it seems kind of Pooh-esque. Slip stitch 9, okay. Now let's finish it out with single crochets. Okay, that's the end of round 25. Okay, round 26, we're technically working even, but this is where we will be adding a stitch marker or a marker to show us where we're going to be joining later. So single crochet in 11. Okay, when we get the last one done, we're supposed to slip stitch into the next one and kind of work it off. Once again, probably don't need as long of a tail as I'm leaving, but better safe than sorry. Okay, so now you see this kind of has a shape where it's going to go on his body. And here's the whole leg and foot. There's the top of the foot, and there's the shaping that all of those front loop decreases make. And like I said, do not forget to label your legs or write down which marker you use for what. I'm just going to pin scraps of paper to mine because I find that easiest. And folks, that is it. We have made our ears, our muzzle, our arms, and our legs. This video is going to be kind of long, so the body will have to go on another segment. And I tell you, the body has a lot of rounds. I don't know if it's going to take multiple segments or not, but I will do my best. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's making sense to you. Any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And if you're enjoying it, please subscribe, hit that like button, all that good jazz that, you know, YouTube likes to see. And I am on Facebook and Instagram with At Home with Shara C. I would love to see photos of your work, or if you need to contact me, it's easier to respond sometime back and forth in messages on those than it is in YouTube. But definitely leave a comment down below, because that gets my attention that you're actually following. I don't know why, but I cannot get Facebook Messenger to notify me when people respond to the page. I'm sure it is operator error, but it is what it is. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next segment, and we'll work on the body. Bye!